not in Kansas anymore.
You had my curiosity.
Are you telling me you built a time machine?
The Force will be with you.
Welcome back to Get Real, the podcast where we get real about all of our favourite pop culture movies and TV shows. My name is Sam, and with me, as always, is my diabolical co-host, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm the Ginger Spice to Sam's Baby Spice.
Put us together in the bloody Spice Girls.
I think that's the best Australian accent you've ever done.
I don't even think Billy Butcher is Australian, is he? He's British.
I thought he was. I don't know. He's got an Australian accent, which Carl Urban is Australian, but I think people do say he's British in the show. But also, to Americans, British and Australians just sound the same.
Yeah, it's very much
apparently
the same thing, innit?
Even though we sound nothing alike.
No, it's like... Anyway, this week we're talking about The Boys, Season 2.
If you didn't guess.
If you couldn't guess, this is going to be a little bit of a first impressions episode, a bit like what we did with Snowpiercer, where we talk through the first handful of episodes. So we're going to go right up to episode 5.
Yeah, so we're halfway through the season at this point already?
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, like a bit of a mid-season recap. We'll go through it kind of episode-ish by episode. Give you a bit of an idea whether it's something that you want to jump into or not. Give a hot take on Season 2. And, is it worth it? Spicy take.
Oh, that's a hot take, that. That's a hot take. Ooh, ooh.
A spicy take on it. Speaking of hot take, my mouth is so sore from burning it, mate. Honestly.
I burnt the tip of my tongue on some gravy earlier.
I burnt like the roof.
What did you burn
mouth.
it on?
Ugh.
What did you burn it on?
Oh, I had a pizza, but it was that thing where it's like you bite into it and it's okay, but then as soon as you go through the cheese and then you feel underneath the cheese and it's like, that tomato sauce is like hot. Like really
I was
hot.
literally just thinking, as soon as you said you burnt the roof of your mouth, I was like, I'd lay your bets on some sort of like melted cheese or something. I had pizza in my head, but I was like, nah, it doesn't seem like a pizza day.
No, it always...
But it was.
Yeah, no, it is a pizza day. It's a get home from work, shove something in the oven, and then start a pizza up. And
Pizza time!
Pizza time. Every time is pizza time. Right, anyway, that is a weird preamble.
Fucking Spider-Man 2 up in this business.
Well, at least we're 4.5 minutes through the episode, so that we didn't... You dropped the first F-bomb. Trying not to do it. But anyway, is there anything else? Have you been watching anything at all this week other than The Boys? Checked anything out?
Started JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is an anime. I'm trying to get more into like not just like Dragon Ball and Pokemon. I'm trying to get into like some of the weeb shit.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I'm trying to get some like anime cred underneath my belt, so I started JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
What the hell is weeb shit, so to speak?
Like weeb is like slang for weeaboo, which is like came from like Westerners who like think they're Japanese and love all sorts of Japanese culture, but it's one of those things. It was like nerd back in the day was an insult, and now people are like claiming it as their own. So now like weebs are just out and proud.
So weebs is the new nerd.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's like anime nerd. But apparently JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is like one of the best animes and mangas ever made. So I was like, yeah, it's on Netflix. Fuck it, why not?
Interesting. Sounds pretty interesting.
It is pretty mental.
Never really delved into a proper anime. I think when I was younger, I watched Dragon Ball and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I mean, I'm probably going to get real slack off this, but would you consider Pokemon an anime?
Pokemon is an anime, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I watched, obviously, the Pokemon TV shows.
And Digimon.
And definitely watched the Digimon TV shows. But I never really, like, settled into anything. Like, I tried to watch Attack on Titan, but I think we spoke about this before. That's not, like, really a very good jumping on point.
No, everybody says it's fantastic, but, like, everyone says, like, after Season 2, it's fantastic. But I was like... I got to episode 3 and I was like, episode 1 was great, and then 2 and 3 were just snail's pace boring. And I was like, I don't care about any of these characters right now.
Yeah. Yeah. One Punch Man's meant to be a...
I did start that. Like, there's so much on Netflix at the moment, so I'll just start it and then never get round to finishing it. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to find something and I'm going to stick to it. Like, and just try and watch them. but it's difficult trying to find time to watch it at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. You still working from
Especially
home?
when there's 8 seasons.
Yeah,
I am still working from home, yeah.
You can leave it on in the background then and just let your brain just into it.
Yeah, but stuff like JoJo and stuff like that, you need to pay attention, otherwise all these like 8-foot tall pretty boys are going to start looking the same. It's weird enough as it is. Like, you got to pay some sort of attention to it, otherwise you're just not going to understand it.
Yeah, for sure.
It is helping me come up with more weird anime sounds, though, to like scream over Xbox Live next time we play.
It has been so long since we played Xbox.
I know, I've been smashing my Switch. Whew.
Smashing.
Anyway, what have you been watching?
Right, so I was away at the weekend, just gone.
You were.
Which would have been just before the last episode came out. Enjoying a bit of TLC in the country, you know.
Very nice.
In the proper country. So the UK, actually, what you see in the UK, where you think, oh yeah, it's all fields, and yeah, there's parts of it, but the bit we live isn't near that, so got to go and chill.
Proper countryside.
So we ended up like having a movie night for one. Well, we rather than like sitting around the table drinking and like playing board games or whatever, we decided to put a film on because they had like a projector hooked up with an Apple TV in the room.
Nice.
It was awesome. You like hit a switch and the projector came down, and you know, humble brag, but you know. But anyway, yeah. So we ended up watching Grimsby, which is that Mark Strong, Sacha Baron Cohen film.
The Brothers Grimsby, yeah.
Yeah, wow. Have you seen it?
The only bit that I've seen is the bit where they're inside an elephant, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's the only bit that I've seen of it, and I'm just there like, nah.
Like, a hilarious film at parts. Like, but it's so grotesque. It's like disgusting at parts.
Is the elephant bit the worst bit?
Woof, I don't know, maybe.
Wow, it must be bad if there's something worse than that elephant bit.
There's a part where Sacha Baron Cohen sucks on Mark Strong's ballsack, which is like up there with one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
And they are brothers.
Yeah, exactly, and the brothers, and that makes it a whole lot weirder.
Does he get bit by a snake or something? Is it one of those jokes?
He gets shot in the... spoilers for Grimsby, by the way.
For a 5-year-old disgusting film that nobody saw because it was...
He gets shot with a poison bullet through his ball sack. And,
so he needs to suck the poison out.
Yeah, and then there's another bit where, like, right at the end, they save everyone by sitting on top of a firework, like putting a firework up their ass by sitting on top of it because it's got a deadly virus in it, and then they contain the virus by sitting on it and it not going everywhere. And then right at the end, they're both in hospital and they've just got massive arseholes from where the fireworks. It's just gross. It's really disgusting.
I don't want to see this film at all, but it's just... I think it's one of those films where it's funnier when somebody describes it to you.
Honestly, like, peak interest, definitely. It was like... You really just didn't... You obviously know it's a Sacha Baron Cohen film, right? You know where it's going to go.
Gross out humour.
But to what extent, I had no idea. Some pretty on-the-nose kind of relevant jokes, like something about Donald Trump in there.
I think it came out just at the beginning of his presidency, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or just before it.
Yeah, a lot of stuff about Daniel Radcliffe, but Daniel Radcliffe isn't actually in this film.
Okay.
It's just an actor that's meant to look like him. It's dead funny.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that's I digress. Yeah, that's what I ended up watching. And
that's the official get real review of The Brothers Grimsby.
Yeah, literally. And then I found a bit of time for I think it was episode 5 I ended up watching of The Boys. I watched
that's the latest episode.
Watched a little bit on that projector, you know. Had to give it a go. But
oh, you found some time by yourself to put it on the big screen?
Well, not the whole episode. I found like there was like 5 to 10 minutes I managed to watch, but it was a pretty good bit. So.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the dogs.
Whoa.
There they are.
Official dog of the podcast.
We will just pause for a second and we'll be straight back. And we're back. Got them under control. I didn't do anything really. I just sat here and waited for them to stop.
Don't worry, I've got this under control. Sit silently and wait.
On the other side of the jump cut, just nothing happened. Yeah, so in terms of news this week, so I don't feel like a lot happened, but I do have two little stories here if you want me to cover them off first.
Yeah, you go with what you've got first.
So
and then I've got a couple.
The first thing, which is quite exciting to be fair, I think it's going to be really good, is there was an announcement by James Gunn that he is going to be working on a Peacemaker TV original series on HBO Max with John Cena, obviously playing Peacemaker in the upcoming Suicide Squad film.
Yep.
So that looks really cool.
And apparently some of the other members from the Suicide Squad 2 will also be in it as well.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. It's a bit of an Origins film, Origins series, isn't it?
I'm not entirely sure. Literally, I knew exactly what you just said, that James Gunn's working on a Peacemaker series and there's going to be other cast members in it. Don't know any more than that.
Yeah, I think the bits that I've read suggest it's going to be taking place before Suicide Squad. So it's going to give him a little bit of a setup, I think. Maybe how
he could still die.
Yeah, literally. Otherwise, that might ruin who survives and who dies. But yeah, I think he's going to have a little bit of a setup, maybe how he ended up joining the Suicide Squad, maybe.
Okay.
But an interesting choice. I mean, I didn't think Peacemaker was that much of a big character that would really have his own series, but...
In the past, he's had his own standalone comic book series and stuff, and it is John Cena. Like, out of most of the supporting cast on this list, like, it would probably be Peacemaker or Idris Elba. I can't remember who he's playing. It would be one of those two, probably, that would get their own series, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's quite interesting.
Or Rick Flag.
For something to happen, like, for them to announce this so soon, they must really, the Suicide Squad must be a good film. If they're ready to put TV budget behind it as well. It's also being produced by Peter Safran, who worked on the Suicide Squad and also worked on Aquaman 2 and The Conjuring.
Okay, excellent. So they're keeping it in-house. They're keeping it with the people that they trust, clearly, instead of just palming it off to somebody else to make.
He also did some work on Shazam as well, which is cool.
Nice. HBO Max is just throwing money at projects at the moment, then, aren't they? Because they got the Ridley Scott series out as well. That's on HBO Max.
Yeah, what is that, a new series? I've not really been keeping up with that.
Yeah, we talked about the trailer a couple months ago, and it aired beginning of September. Something about wolves. The title is, I can't remember what it's called.
Something about wolves, blue wolves flying on big pterodactyl birds. Blue wolves flying on big pterodactyl birds fighting military.
Yeah?
In space.
Where did you get that from?
I've got Ridley Scott
Where are you
mixed
getting
up
that from?
with James Cameron.
You were thinking of Avatar and James Cameron, not Ridley Scott.
Yeah, that's why I just moved over to In Space, because then I realised, yep, I'm talking about the wrong person.
Raised by Wolves is the series.
Wolves being born out of other wolves and then eating wolves and then impregnating.
It's got nothing to do with wolves. It's got to do with AI taking care of the next generation of humans after the Earth has been destroyed.
Amazing.
On a different planet.
Not my proudest moment, that.
It's got the guy from Vikings in it. The guy that was in Warcraft, that I can never remember his name. I always get it mixed up with Charlie Hunnam.
The guy who looks like Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, but isn't Charlie Hunnam.
Harley Chunham.
I want to know what was in this pizza that you had before the podcast. Sam's full of just the weird bants tonight.
It's my favorite hour on a Thursday night. This that I get to sit down. I don't even get to see your faces. I talk to you. I'm looking down at stuff all the time while we record this.
Yeah, I'm always doing that. I'm either looking at my screen, checking that my recording's still going, or I'm just dicking about with something on my desk. I'm just fiddling with something.
Yeah, literally. It's just...
I have to put away anything that makes noise so that if I mess with it, it's not going to make sound.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing around with a toothpick right now. Clearly not in my mouth because I'm not. I don't sound. I don't sound like this.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Anyway, that's enough of the ASMR.
Yeah, you got there.
ASMR.
ASMR.
Rams. There's your anagram.
RMSA, I thought you were going for that. Isn't that like the super virus thing that you pick up in dirty hospitals?
No, that's COVID-19, you dickhead.
No. MRSA I'm thinking of.
Oh, goodness me. How relevant. It's not a laughing matter. Wash your bloody hands, wear a bloody mask. Anyway.
Yeah, you dirty bastards.
Anyway,
right, what's the next story that you got?
Because of all the shit show happening with COVID, which is nice little segue.
Good segue.
We have got delays to the Marvel slate. So we've had delays to Black Widow, Eternals, and Shang-Chi. So, but it's a very interesting move in the slate, right? So, to give you those new dates, Black Widow is May 2021.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi is...
I can't believe it's been moved back again, for fuck's sake.
That far, though, as well.
It's a whole year since its original release.
Shang-Chi is July 9th, 2021.
Yeah.
And then Eternals is November 5th, 2021. Now, Eternals...
Oh, shit. So they've pushed that back a whole year as well.
And they've
slotted Shang-Chi in before it.
That's what I mean.
Weird.
Yeah, that's a strange move, really, because they must have decided to rejig the slate a little bit, because really Eternals should have been coming out in November. Literally just over a month's time.
Yeah.
Crazy. But, yeah, so, I mean, we've got a long time to wait before we get another Marvel film.
I mean, we haven't even seen a teaser or anything for the Eternals yet, so...
Not even seen,
they can't get away with
or
it.
set photos, have we?
Well, we saw the artwork of the costumes and the characters.
Yeah.
The concept art for the character designs and stuff like that.
I imagine it's the kind of thing where they're all probably on a green screen. Probably a soundstage kind of thing.
Well, the thing is, we can guarantee that hopefully the CGI will look shit hot, which, to be fair, the Marvel movies on the whole have got amazing CGI.
Mm-hmm.
But the Eternals is, again, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy, where it's going to be so much CG. So that should hopefully be spot on. Maybe they want to do some extra shooting or something like that. Maybe make things a bit bigger, maybe, if they're going to push it back.
I wonder if they've changed much of the story then, if they're going to slot... I imagine Shang-Chi is probably going to sit pretty separate to the Eternals, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I highly doubt they're going to interact at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, Eternals, the closest thing that's probably going to interact with is, like, the Guardians or something like that.
Yeah.
Although it is largely set on Earth as well, but it's following, like, Thanos' background and stuff like that, so...
Mm-hmm. So what have we got coming up soon then? Because I believe we've not really got anything in the way of DC coming out very soon, have we?
You know what I just realised as well, though?
What?
This is the first year, I think, since since 2010 that we haven't had a Marvel film this year.
Whoa.
The last one we had was Far From Home.
Wow. Yeah. Jeez, man.
That was over a year ago.
What a great year for a film podcast.
But, so a nice segue from this, we did get our first teaser trailer, our first trailer for Wandavision. I was going to mention this in trailers, but it's here now.
Yes, very good.
While we're talking about Marvel, we are getting that this year.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Holy crap, this looked so cool.
Yeah, very interesting. Like, we have a group chat, right? And one of our friends was a little bit like, didn't really understand.
I don't get it.
Yeah, basically, like, I don't get it. And you gave a really good point. So what's your hot take on WandaVision? What do you think it's going on?
So, it was pretty much what I thought was going to happen anyway, but the trailer seems to give it a bit more context. So, Wanda is clearly creating a pocket dimension or an alternate universe in which she's taking her consciousness and the Vision's consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know whether this is going to be in... Well, I'm guessing not now by the trailer, that this isn't going to be in the moments where he's died like in between like the events of Infinity War. This is going to be after the fact, and she's like trying to come to terms with his death and stuff like that. So she's taken his consciousness into this pocket dimension, because in the comic book she's got like multiverse shattering powers. Like she can just create a universe if she wants. So she's clearly taken themselves into this other dimension in which it's based off like TV shows and stuff like that throughout the generations. That's probably how she sees like a happy family life, because she was from war-torn Sokovia all her life. Like when she was a kid, she was in a destroyed building from a Tony Stark missile and stuff like that. So all she's seen really is TV shows of how like these fabulous American lives live and stuff like that. So she's basing it off this. And then slowly but surely things start to seep into it, which are destroying her reality. So she's constantly bending it and changing it to update it to the next thing, to like try and outrun the issues so that her and Vision can live like a happy life. I think that's why we see like the witch character, who people think is something Harkness. I can't remember her name. Wandavision. Let's try and find out the name of it. Oh no, there's fucking too many articles coming up. Anyway, like she seems to be like on pause. It's sort of like, you know, the Truman Show. Whenever Truman isn't somewhere, like everyone's on pause, waiting to go. And like she looks like she's like that, like unconscious inside of it. But maybe as she becomes more after Vision touches her, she becomes more sentient of the world around her and stuff like that, and people seem to think that she's this witch that has a deal with Mephisto to try and fuck with Wanda, which might be what happens with the children down the line. So we're getting the introduction of the Vision and Wanda's children, Billy and Tommy, who are Wiccan and Speed in the comic books, again leading to the Young Avengers. Everything's leading to the Young Avengers. It's going to be so cool. So it's basically her hopping through these different realities that she's creating for herself to try and create a life for her and the Vision. But it looks like she might have pulled like a town, an entire area into this, because we see the sword agents cordoning off a town and Maria Rambeau being fired out of like one dimension into another dimension, like back into the real world and stuff like that. Yeah. So many cool things in this one trailer.
Yeah, it seems really mental. Like it's got the whole sitcom element to it, and then you've got like the real like element to it. It's just, it looks like it's actually going to be really interesting, really different and really interesting, which is good because it's kind of what you want. What I didn't want from the new Disney Plus shows coming off the back of the Marvel stuff is basically just Iron Fist. For God's sake, my mind's gone blank. Luke Cage.
No, Nick Cage. Nicolas Cage himself. Luke Cage.
And
Jessica Jones.
Jennifer Jones.
I want to see a new Marvel show which is Nicolas Cage, Iron Fist, like actual Iron Fist is in there. Nicolas Cage, Jessica Jones played by January Jones.
Jennifer Jones is
Jennifer Jones. Sorry,
America. She was in The Song of Bernadette and Duel in the Sun. And
what does she look like?
She's from the she peaked in the 1940s, I think.
Oh, did you just Google who Jennifer Jones was to see?
Well,
this?
Yeah, because I was like, come on, this has got to be a person. Please don't be someone really embarrassing.
Yeah, it's definitely not someone that you knew before you just pulled a random thing up.
Oh yeah, no.
And who can be the replacement Daredevil then? We'll bring back Ben Affleck's Daredevil. I want to see that version of the Defenders.
No.
Nick Cage, Iron Fist, the old Daredevil, and Jennifer Jones.
Charlie Cox. It could be
Charlie Cox.
It could be. We'll be Harley Chunham. We'll put Harley Chunham in.
No, you got to bring back Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Oh, I guess so. Anyway, have you got any more news stories?
Yes. So CW's Supergirl has been cancelled. It's getting one extra season, and then after that, it is done. So they're getting a chance to write an ending to the show. It's not just like being cut out of nowhere. So the 6th season will be the final season. It's going to draw Kara Zor-El's story to a close. which is surprising because they've got a Superman show in production. So, like, considering the Superman has come from her show and stuff like that, like, and her show was doing very well, it might have fallen off in the last season or so, but yeah, it's kind of surprising, but at least they get to end the show how they want to end it.
Yeah, for sure. Have you been watching Supergirl?
I've watched the first 2 series, but I haven't watched anything after that. I've just not got round to it. But I enjoy it. I think Melissa Benoist is her name, I believe. She is great as Supergirl. Like, I would watch her in a lot more stuff, and I hope this is a bit more of a platform for her career.
Yeah, she can go ahead and do other stuff now, because I imagine the CW stuff does take up a lot of your scheduling.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you're shooting it for most of the year. Like, that's why the only time that Stephen Amell really shot anything was if he did something himself, like a small project with him and his cousin Robbie Amell, or he was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that was like in the summer gap between shooting Arrow. So
did you say Robbie?
She will definitely
Robbie
have.
Amell? Did you mean Stephen Amell?
No, I said Stephen Amell was making films with his cousin Robbie Amell.
Oh, like what was that film that we watched?
Super 8. Nope. That's the J.J. Abrams one.
I'm sure we gave it an honourable mention on the podcast.
Yeah, something 9 or something 8, isn't it? Oh, fucking hell. What the fuck was it?
Code 8. Was it Code 8?
Code 8. There we go.
Yeah, it was Code 8. Have you heard about, speaking of Code 8, District 9? Have you heard?
Go on.
I've heard that they may be doing a District 9 sequel. Has that been in the works for quite a while?
There was rumours of it ages ago, but didn't we speak about this like early on in the podcast, like lifespan? Didn't it become a series? Isn't it a series that's in the works?
Oh no, it is. It's a sequel. Oh, hang on. This was June 2017. This was way before we started doing the podcast. Never mind.
Yeah. There was something recent about it. I think it's been turned into a prequel series. I think.
Yeah.
Because everything's a fucking prequel series nowadays.
What a film. Would definitely be worth going back and watching that.
Melissa Benoist was in Whiplash. She was so good in Whiplash. Whiplash is a great film.
Anyway, we totally digress.
Yeah, so hopefully she'll get more stuff off the back of this, or she could appear in the other CW franchises. It seems like the CW's like everyone sort of fell off. I think they overexpanded a bit too much because Arrow's come to an end, Supergirl's coming to an end, Flash is tailing off, and I feel like that's not going to make it that much longer. Mm-hmm. Legends of Tomorrow somehow keeps plodding along. What else? Batgirl lost Ruby Rose, so now we've got a new Batgirl after one season. Black Lightning, is that still going?
I have no idea. That was on Netflix, wasn't it?
Well, it was on Netflix in the UK, but it was a CW show in the US.
Black Lightning.
What else was there?
I mean, Black Lightning. It hit the end of a series 3.
I'm pretty sure it should be on to 4 or 5 by now.
It is. I think it has got a season 4 coming up.
Okay, so season 3 ended in March 2020. So yeah, it is due a season 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like the CW DC shows were riding high, like very high, and then they seem to be petering off. I think maybe they just oversaturated the market with them. They really did. Like, it was so difficult to keep up with them all. Well, like, I used to be the biggest fan, and I don't even watch them anymore. I don't have time for that many shows.
Well, you've got things like Doom Patrol and stuff now, which are kind of leading the way in terms of the DC shows.
Yeah, well, that's because they actually started getting made by the DC companies themselves, but they weren't getting as warm a response, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, any more news?
Like,
stories?
I'd rather have another 3 series of Supergirl than another 3 series of Titans, because fuck me, Titans is a shit show. It's a hot mess that I can't stop watching.
I did stop watching it, so
It's like The Walking Dead. It's like a hot mess that I can't stop watching.
anyway, you got any other stories? Anything good?
I've got trailers. If you want me to jump onto trailers,
Yeah, go for it.
so we talked about WandaVision. There's a trailer for The Croods 2. Sorry, the animated film about the caveman family that I never watched.
Okay.
Apparently, that's got a sequel now. A New Age. That's out for all the kids if you want to take the kids to a film.
There you go.
The one trailer that I do want to talk about, which I only saw today, is for a film called Supernova. So this has got Colin Firth and Stanley Tucci, who are playing an Asian gay couple, and they're on a road trip, and Stanley Tucci has got either onset dementia or Alzheimer's, I'm not sure which one. So like the trailer alone had me nearly welling up. Like, this looks like it's going for all the Oscars. And like that is going to be like the heartbreak film of the year. Let's see when it's coming out. But man, like the performances look amazing in this. They're on like a road trip around the UK. British film, directed by Harry McQueen. Initial release 22nd of September. So that was 2 days ago, apparently, but it doesn't seem to be out anywhere. Maybe that's... I'm not sure. It's aired at the film festivals and stuff like that.
Okay.
Can't seem to find a proper release date, but obviously cinemas are up in the air at the moment anyway, so...
What you would recommend?
Oh, definitely. The trailer looks fantastic. It looks like something that I really want to see, but only at home in private with a massive box of tissues.
Yeah. bit like Marley and Me.
Yeah. Like, ugly snot crying is what it's going to end up leading to, probably.
But everyone cried at Marley and Me.
27th of November.
There you go.
It's been released in the UK.
There you go.
It's definitely going for some Oscars, this, or some awards anyway.
Not much
It's
competition.
got 4 out of 5 from The Guardian.
There won't be that much competition this year for him anyway.
I mean, it's Colin Firth and the Tooch.
The Tooch?
So, Stanley Tucci. Tucci gang.
The Tooch.
He's fantastic. Like, I would just want to see so many more films with Stanley Tucci, and whenever he's on screen, it's just like the best moment of any film. Like, I love it when he's just a side character in something, and then he just pops in for a couple scenes, and you're just like, this is the best moment of my day. It's just Stanley Tucci.
Any more news?
Tooch. No, that's it.
That's it.
So, onto the lads. Lads.
The lads. The fucking
That would be the British version of it.
Yeah. Absolutely diabolical TV series in such a good way.
It is absolutely diabolical.
So,
time for The Boys.
The Boys. So we loved season 1, didn't we? We really enjoyed The Boys. We rate it very highly. This is absolutely a totally biased review of The Boys because we really like it. If you don't like it, this isn't the episode for you. But we did have a really good episode on The Devil All Time last week, so you should go check that out instead. Anyway, yeah, so The Boys Season 2, so when they dropped this, they dropped 3 episodes all in one go.
They did.
Which we could probably talk about kind of collectively. And then obviously we can just talk about the other 2 episodes that came out just bit by bit.
Okay.
Which is cool because I think where episode 5 leads off is a good little talking point for speculation about the rest of the series. So right. So this obviously we're not going to explain The Boys Season 1. We don't have to really. Just go ahead and check it out and then come back and listen to this. So right, first impressions of The Boys Season 2. For me, everything that was good about The Boys Season 1 carries on in The Boys Season 2. Absolutely. It's just...
literally, exactly where it ended off, it picks up again, and it kept its momentum running from Season 1, didn't it? Like, it's not slowed down. Like, even Episode 1 had, enough stuff going on in it that it didn't feel like it slowed down at all.
Yeah, for sure. I felt like it was going to kind of address the whole A-Train heart attack thing a little bit more. I thought maybe he wouldn't have pulled through that, but it's kind of cool his arc now with obviously, you know, as you find out in the first 3 episodes, Homelander's kind of starting to, you know, recycle the 9, isn't he? Or the 7. The 7.
The 7.
He's recycling them a little bit with the new edition of Stormfront. Let's talk a little bit about Stormfront.
Great addition to the... Whoa.
Yeah, really good, really, really good character. Absolutely amazing actress in the form of Aya Cash.
Aya Cash, there you go.
Aya Cash, also known for
also known for... So I'm trying to find something that people might know.
Jodie the waitress in American Dad. Jordan's assistant in The Wolf of Wall Street. Modern
I was about
Family.
to say she was in The Wolf of Wall Street, apparently.
Yeah. Law and Order back in the day. More, you know, recently she's done a couple of TV miniseries, Fosse Verdon, Easy, You're the Worst. But yeah, awesome. The character though, Chris, as we find out at the end of episode 3.
Season 3? How do you know what happens at the end of season 3?
Yeah, at the end of episode 3, we find a little bit of a deep dark secret about Stormfront, don't we? That you told me about a little bit ahead of time, and when I saw it happen, I was like, woof. Oh dear.
Yeah, woof. So we got the a whole situation going on with Kimiko's brother and everything like that. And are we in spoilers? Did we say we were doing spoilers at this point?
We're covering off the first 3 episodes first. So
okay, so this is going to have some spoilers in as well, right? She is a real Nazi. Like, see, like straight up, like racist as fuck, like killing like minorities in a low income building, and then just snapping like Kimiko's brother's arms off, and just like, fucking, this chick is off her tits. And then, so we start to dive into her background after that. Like, this was sort of like, the first 3 episodes was sort of like, ooh, playing it coy, she's got a bit of an edge to her. After episode 3, it's like, woof, let's deep dive into her backstory.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you gotta find out a little bit more about old Stormfront. You know.
Yeah.
Woof. Yeah, that was a heavy little ending there, but it's so subtle. Like, I know obviously you're wondering why she's killing the families in the flats, and obviously you do realise that she just starts killing the people as you get up the stairs, and it's like, obviously, she's going for the African Americans, isn't she? She's really really
the minorities in the building.
Yeah, and then it's that whole like clearly absolutely misogynistic. What's the word I'm looking for?
Not misogynistic.
Not misogynistic.
Racist? Xenophobic?
Yeah, the remarks she makes to Kimiko's brother.
Ooh, and that is such an outdated remark as well.
Yeah.
Like, which starts to play into some other elements of the story. Like, the breadcrumbs were so subtle to begin with.
Yeah, I don't really remember any breadcrumbs from the first 2 episodes that lead to that.
Okay. Well, the worst one, we'll talk about some, like, once we're talking about the other episodes, I'm going, like, full spoilers towards the end of this. Like, yeah. I'll show you what I found.
Okay.
So what else happens in the first 3 episodes? Driving through a whale.
Yeah, that
was pretty intense.
That episode is the highest rating episode for season 2 on IMDb right now.
I'm not surprised. Like we saw that in the trailer, but I was not expecting like a full extended 5-minute sequence just inside the carcass of a whale with a beating heart next to Huey's face.
Yeah, I wasn't quite expecting that either. We managed to see, we got a sneak peek of that, to be fair, but it was just so funny how like you can just see like the Deep's gone through some serious shit. Starlight's completely, she's completely torn in two between being part of the 7, enjoying the cushy life, but then also wanting to still have something with Huey. It's we're at an interesting point, really.
Yeah,
Where
very much crossroads for her story.
Yeah, and then obviously Homelander's going through a bit of a time, isn't he?
Oh,
I
so he's just like
really
riding
like
high at the end of season 1, isn't he? Like he thinks he is unstoppable. He truly believes that he is like this godlike creature. But whew, like Giancarlo Esposito knows how to shut that fucker down. Like,
oh yeah,
such a menacing presence on screen, and like the way he's just able to stare down this godlike figure is just chef's kiss.
yes, absolutely, chef's kiss all over it. Do we get the whole what's the mimic guy, the shapeshifter dude?
Oh, that's episode 4.
That's episode 4. Okay,
That's episode 4.
okay, I was jumping ahead of the gun.
We get the Deep talking to his gills in episode 2.
Oh, that
voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, like what?
That was such a fucking trippy scene. But those gills kind of knocked me sick to see.
Yeah, I was watching this and I like felt really uncomfortable while those gills were talking to him back.
I was like, I don't want redemption for the Deep either. He's such a fucking dickhead. Like, I'm hoping that it does the classic boys twist of like, you think there's going to be some sort of growth and then just pull the rug out from under him and just like, he just gets fucked up by Homelander or something.
Yeah. I really like what they're doing with Homelander in this season. And we'll move on to talk about that a little bit more in a bit. But I like how he's obviously gone through a tough transition in season 1. As he's found out about his upbringing and all that, and you know, he comes to terms with a lot of stuff, a lot of his problems. But
does he come to terms with it?
Well, I guess he kind of does in a way, you know, like he decides that he doesn't want to be lied to anymore, and he wants to become more of a powerful figure. He wants to have more authority and make his own rules up. But
yeah, he definitely starts to act on the things that he's learned, but I don't know if he's necessarily come to terms with it. I think he's definitely lashing out, and like it's explaining a lot of why he's such a psychopath.
Yeah, for sure. Right, I don't know. Maybe move on now to talk about include the next episode. I know there's quite a lot in the first 3 episodes, but yeah.
I think episode 4 and 5 is where we start to get some big old reveals. In the earlier episodes, Becca is in like an enclosed like town.
Mm-hmm.
She's in like a fake little village, isn't she?
Yeah, we find because you've got all the arc between Billy Butcher and his wife. You know,
that plays out more in episode 4, but
she's in she's isolated, isn't she? She's in like a vault, fake little town where it's only her that lives in it.
So she's the only like real person living in it. The rest of them are like, again, like actors, like we were saying in the Truman Show earlier, sort of like that, because they wanted to give Ryan, is it her son?
Yeah, I think so.
They wanted to give him more of a normal upbringing, because he is Homelander's child, whereas Homelander was raised in a lab with no parents or anything.
Yeah.
So they're trying to fix some of the mistakes that went wrong with Homelander. To try and breed the next Homelander. So we got a Homelander trying to be a dad and failing pretty badly. He's just sort of like
pushing his
I'm
son
here
off
now.
The roof.
like I could see that coming, but it was still funny. But also at the same time, I was like, "Holy shit!" He just threw a 12-year-old like 20 feet off a building flat on his face.
Yeah, but when his son gets up and then his eyes go red, it's like
and he pushes him across the garden like he's got enough strength to do it. It's like
I had some serious Brightburn vibes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was cool. So I'm excited to see where that storyline goes, because this is a whole new storyline for the show. Like, this hasn't been done in the comic books or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting.
That's cool.
And we get the introduction of the Church of the Collective as well, which plays out a bit more in the later episodes.
Yeah, and is the Church of Collective a big deal in the comic books?
I don't know that. I think it is in the comic books, but I don't know how big it is in the comic books.
Ah, okay. Makes sense.
Because I've only read little bits, and I'm going off what I've seen videos of other stuff.
Fair enough. Episode 4?
Episode 4.
Episode 4.
So this is the one. So big spoilers now. This is where like reveals start to happen. So this episode has the road trip with Huey, Starlight, and Mother's Milk going to find out about Liberty.
Yes, who turns out to be Stormfront.
Oh! So we were talking about breadcrumbs earlier. Like, Stormfront in the comic books is based off a male character called Stormfront who was a Nazi experiment. So that's why he's very racist and everything like that. So he is somewhat of a precursor / clone / same sort of deal as Homelander, but obviously he was raised to be a Nazi. So she, like we find out, has been alive for at least 70 odd years. So she's been operating under a few different monikers, but Giancarlo Esposito's character tells us about the history of Vought and how they started as a Nazi science test center, basically trying to make super Nazis and stuff like that.
Oh.
So we get that linked to World War II there and the Nazis. And then when she's using outdated racial slurs, and obviously like previous generations, especially during the war and stuff like that, were very xenophobic and very racist. So that's why she's calling like Kimiko's brother like a yellow bastard, I think she says, which woof.
Wow.
But that is such an outdated term as well. And then when we see Liberty, but we don't have the identity of her yet, she's like committing a hate crime against a young black lad.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice, I was like, that sounds like Stormfront. So we've got a few little Easter eggs like going forward. Like even on a belt buckle, it's like looks like the Iron Eagle symbol, which used to like hold the swastika.
Yeah,
it was like an eagle that used to
yeah.
So that's on her belt buckle, and also her earrings are lightning bolts. Like you could say that is like because she's Stormfront, she's got electric powers, but also like two lightning bolts next to each other is the symbol of the SS.
Yeah,
Hitler's Secret Service.
Yeah. Plus, her costume is also black and red.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's lots of little breadcrumbs, and then when we find out the reveal from the younger sister of the murdered black guy from the flashback, that she identifies Stormfront as Liberty, only she's obviously changed her hair color and stuff like that, and she's sort of like come back into the forefront as a new hero again. So how many different identities has she had in the past?
So the question I've got is, how is she like so young? How is she not aged incredibly bad?
It might be one of her powers. That she doesn't age as fast as others.
Yeah. I love the manipulation you start to see with her and Homelander. It's like Homelander's kind of like come to meet his match, almost like in terms of power, because she's just she's super powerful. And
I think this is one of the best interpretations of like people manipulating the media and the internet as well, like using meme culture and like outrage, like clickbait stuff to push a narrative as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I think like at the very beginning of the season, you're almost like, it's like how she's got all like she's on Facebook Live or Instagram Live or whatever, and there's loads of like, she's got loads of fans and she's doing the whole superhero thing really well, and it's like she's portrayed to be like this idealistic new hot kid on the block kind of thing for the Seven. And then obviously then as an audience of the boys, then you start to see all these really dark behind the scenes bits, but then people don't see that and people turn against Homelander. And this sounds really weird to say, but like the way Stormfront acts makes Homelander look like less of a bad guy in a way. Like he acts out of frustration, not out of like pure absolute hatred as like Stormfront did. Like
he's still a child in the head. Like, that's why he's got such bad mummy issues and stuff like that, and why he was like he's still obsessed with breastfeeding and stuff like that. Like, he's still like a child in his head, which is probably why he can't raise Ryan.
Yeah.
Why he keeps getting everything wrong.
And can we also talk about that moment where Homelander drinks the milk out of the fridge in Madeline's office?
That was like episode 2 or something, or 3, wasn't it? Like,
that was disgusting.
Yeah, that was disgusting. It's the way that he drinks it. It's like the weird lick and then just slurping it up. Not as disgusting though as like. Did you think that Madeline was still alive for a second? Because I didn't buy it straight away. I was like, nah, we saw the inside of her head. And then Madeline's just in that log cabin that he went to. And then feeds her milk off her fingers. Ugh.
I was extremely confused at first. I was like, I expect twists from the boys. Don't get me wrong, I expect twists. But I was like, wait a second, I'm really lost now.
See, like, straight away I was like, that can't be her, because we saw the inside of her. I was like, it just can't be. And I was trying to figure out, and then I was like, wait, wasn't there a shapeshifter? And I couldn't remember what the shapeshifter normally looked like. I was like, gross, like, really overweight guy. Because I remembered from the first season, like, they use him to, is it like blackmail a senator or something, isn't it? Like, he thinks he's having sex with, like, this really hot young blonde and then shapeshifts back into, like, that horrible fella. But I thought that was just another persona. I didn't realize that was what Doppelganger actually looked like.
No, that's actually him. But
that was like when he couldn't hold the form any longer, and he like, and Homelander's like, but Homelander was going along with it. Like, he's so fucked up in the head that he was willing to go along with like this fella pretending to be a woman, like hitting on him as like a mummy figure. Like, Homelander's head is so fucked up.
Yeah.
And then it led to the end of the episode, which, like, my skin has never crawled so much.
Yeah.
Like, props to Anthony Starr for acting that out so fucking straight. Like, I don't know how he did it.
Yeah, that was that was an episode where my girlfriend was watching it with me. And I was like really quickly having to like pause and explain what was going on, because with no context, that is real bizarre.
Like, yeah. I mean, even with context, that's fucking bizarre.
Yeah, it's even more bizarre. Yeah, it's pretty bizarre. But yeah, what a twist.
Like shape. Like, he was like, all right, you don't want Madeline anymore, so he just shapeshifts into Homelander, and he's like, so Homelander's got all these like preconceived notions as well. Like, he's kind of racist and like homophobic, especially. Like, he's like. He's sort of like been brought up as like this God-fearing sort of like you know, like the stereotypical like boy of America type thing from like the 60s and stuff. That's why he's like wearing the flag and everything. And like he's all sort of like leaning into it. He's like, okay, yeah, I could go for a bit of myself. Like, his own ego overtakes him. He's like, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, myself. And then he's like. And then when Doppelganger's just there, like, it's not even gay if you get your dick sucked by yourself. And like, but you see, just like, as soon as you like, he says the word gay, you just see in his eyes that he snaps, and he's like he's got some like proper ingrained homophobia, which we see play out with Queen Maeve's story after that.
Yeah,
like, as soon as he said that, that's what sort of snaps him, and he's like, no, it's just skin crawling. Like, but imagine being Anthony Starr having to pretend to like offer to suck your own dick.
Oh yeah, real weird.
Real you see Anthony Starr in real life, and then you see Homelander.
Yeah,
it's like these are the two people that are the furthest apart from the characters.
Yeah, literally. It does kind of make sense with the whole Stormfront thing that she would go to Homelander, with him being, he's almost like quite of an Aryan symbol, I guess, if you look at him.
She says that when they first meet. It's just that, which was like, wow, your eyes really are that blue up close.
Yeah,
like blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah. All the clues are there, people. The clues are
and
there.
When she was Liberty, she was blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh, it's all starting to link together. Yeah. What else happens in episode 4?
What happened in episode 4? You got Mother's Milk's backstory.
Yeah, it explains his OCD a little bit more, which was interesting.
Yeah. I feel like there was something else massive happened in that episode, which I'm blanking on now. Oh, you've got my mind's just gone blank. Butcher and Becca meet and they make plans to leave and everything like that. He's going to try and sneak him out in a garbage truck.
Yeah, and then she backs out because it's too much of a risk for Ryan.
Well, yeah, but also Butcher has that little freak out where he's just like, it's a fucking dirty soup.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And he shows his true colours of like, and she's just there like, you're never gonna, like, although like this son was out of rape and stuff like that, it's still her son and she's still very protective over him.
Yeah.
So she was like, she saw that as much as she loves Butcher, he'll never accept Ryan.
Yeah.
He was just saying that he would take him along just to get Becca back. So she was like, I can't do it to Ryan because I can't trust that in the future you won't sell out Ryan or do something to him.
One thing we've not really talked about is Huey's arc in this and how he's kind of developed as a character. Jack Quaid is absolutely amazing as Huey.
Yeah, I feel like he's sort of been on a bit of a back burner in this season so far, though. Like, his storyline is, like, he's got some interesting character beats, but it's not, like, a massive focus, not like in Season 1, where Season 1 was about, like, obviously it started and ended with his sort of journey to avenge Robin and stuff like that, whereas this season, he seems to be on a bit more of a back foot compared to Homelander, Stormfront, and Butcher.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been a more Butcher-led season so far, this one.
Yeah.
But I think once his arc's kind of coming up, what it feels like, maybe as much as they would want to do with him in the current season before they move on to other stuff, maybe Huey will. It keeps going back to this whole Huey's Butcher's Canary thing. And I feel like it's almost maybe going to be like a bit of a mantle pass over to Huey, and maybe Huey's going to... He is also starting to get a lot more confident versus what he was in Season 1. Like, you see that start from where he blows up Translucent and he becomes like... He starts to change. And there's this whole thing where Huey's starting to become more in with Frenchie and Mother's Milk as well, where they're starting to side with him more than what they are Butcher, but they still need Butcher. And I like that kind of shift in dynamic with that as well. It
felt like they were putting him at odds, didn't they? Like they really started to butt heads, especially on the boat and stuff like that. When they find out that Compound V's been outed to the press and stuff like that. But then, so they're butting heads and stuff like that, and then you find out more about Butcher's backstory and why they're probably butting heads. Which is interesting. Like, and the fact that he is his canary, like he can like keep him in line the same way that Lenny, his brother, used to.
Yeah, for sure. Which then moves us on to episode 5, which is the latest episode we've got, which absolutely gives us the biggest look at Black Noir that we've seen so far, other than the occasional he's signing some autographs and just being a classic superhero. Wow. Like, I love...
Also, I must say, terrible hiding spot.
Terrible hiding spot. Like, a horrible hiding spot, considering he's meant
to be a fucking ninja and nobody else could see him.
But,
it's like,
I mean... Maybe
you're a giant guy on a tiny roof.
on a grey slate roof, you're in a load of really clear...
No, it was like a terracotta, like orange roof, and he's there in a big black costume.
I know, yeah. But I really liked the whole... I love how much Black Noir we got. Like right at the beginning, he's like one of the first supes that you see in action for season 2, where he takes down that soup terrorist, who they definitely tried to big up at the end of season 1 to make him be a much more prominent character, and then Black Noir just takes him out in the first episode.
Like that's the thing with like the boys, either they build something up to pull the rug out from under you, or they just like don't even build anything up. They're just there like, nope. They make you build it up inside your own head and like, nah.
Yeah, I love the humour that Black Noir has. I love the whole little where he's playing with the teddy bear, and it's like he's absolutely insane, but he's just like so like such a Labrador for Vought, if you get me. Like
he literally is like when he finds out about Compound V, you see him sobbing away in the hallway and stuff.
Yeah, and then it's always like Homelander says, "You just keep doing what you do in Black Noir, amazing as always." And he's always there. He's always doing the signings, and he's like the absolute perfect pet dog for Vought, but he strikes me as like one of the most dangerous.
Which I think is going to lead into his backstory. Like he's wearing the body cam and stuff like that, and he's doing exactly what. What's Giancarlo Esposito's character's name called? You can't call him just Giancarlo either. You have to say his full name.
Mr. Edgar.
Edgar, yeah. Stan Edgar, yeah. So like he is like his proper like puppet, and I think Stan Edgar's like playing some proper power moves, but I feel like it's all going to tie in back into Black Noir's like identity and backstory and stuff like that. And I feel like his story and Stormfront stories are going to sort of coalesce a little bit, with maybe some sort of like gene therapy, gene splicing type thing, maybe like where they came from and everything like that. And I think we're going to get some reveals between Black Noir's history and Homelander's history, because like Black Noir acts how they want Homelander to act. But Homelander's very much the public face of it, and Black Noir's like this silent sort of like shadow almost. Which is really
absolutely
interesting.
Terrifying was it when they were in the basement and they could just keep hearing the explosions, and then you could hear him walk. Just absolutely terrifying, that.
Like, he just gets shot up and, like, he doesn't even phase at all.
Yeah, he just puts his hand over the gun.
Yeah.
It's like, is he just like crazy regeneration or something? Is he just...
It seems like it.
What a crazy ninja power. So he's, like, incredibly strong, and he's got... Oh, it's just mad.
Reflexes and everything like that. Like, whoo.
Yeah. You've got the Homelander... you see this bit in the trailer for season 2 where he like lasers all those people down, but doesn't really. Yeah. He doesn't really do it.
It's a fake out. Like I full on like I was a sucker. Like I believed that hook, line, and sinker. I was like, oh shit. I was like, this has changed it forever now. I was like, shit's going down, and then it was like fake. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that would have been a real crazy move if that was like. That actually had happened.
Because he can't come back from that then.
No.
Like, so that would have been like his turning point, and like that. If they were going to do something like that, it would have to be a couple seasons down the line. If they want to have 5 seasons of that, they can't do that to to Homelander in season 2, because then he can't be in the public eye. He'll just be a villain from then on.
Yeah.
They could maybe do it in season 4, and then season 5 he becomes like a villain fighting against actual superheroes and stuff, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. What else?
So Stormfront and Homelander doing the sex at the end.
Yeah, that was a disaster. That
was an intense scene. Also, right, somebody has pitched the theory online. I think it was Eric Voss on. I don't know if he came up with it, but I remember him saying it from New Rockstars. Their stuff about the boys is great. They've got an after show podcast for the boys. If you want to listen to that, it's great. He was saying that he thinks that maybe Stormfront might be his mum, might be Homelander's mum, or like her DNA and superpower, like that was what gave Homelander his powers or something, maybe. So maybe not a biological mum, but like
no, thank you.
Like she was like the first experiment, and then they made like, and that how much would like that just play into his fucking mummy issues as well? Like how fucking creepy, because she is just looking to dominate him.
Yeah,
and like. It was the same thing again with like her breasts and stuff like that. She was like laser my tits. Like he's like he wants a woman that like he can sort of abuse, but like someone that's still motherly towards him and stuff.
Yeah, it's gross. It's
Like
so
that.
gross.
That was like a really like gross, intense, like aggressive sex scene.
Yeah, really weird.
It was the bit where she shoved, like, obviously, like, she's, like, trying to get dominion over him, so she shoves his head in between the legs, and, like, I couldn't tell if it was his face making the squelching sound or her body, like, because of the force, and I was like, I don't want to know what it was. Something broke then, and I don't know whether it's better being his face or her private parts.
Oh, God.
I was like, that moment, I was like, no.
What? No. We didn't really touch on Queen Maeve for this. I think she's going to turn around, you know. I think
She's going to defect, yeah.
Yeah, she's going to defect. And I think...
Because you've noticed, she seems to be, like, the most innocent out of all the 7. Like, everyone's, like, got a dark side. So, like, A-Train's a drug addict. The Deep's sexual assaulter? What would you call that? Sexual predator.
Yeah.
Homelander is fucked up in every way possible. Black Noir, we don't know what his thing is at the moment. Stormfront is a Nazi. Translucent was a sexual predator as well.
Yeah.
So that's 6 of them. Starlight is like a goody two shoes as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Queen Maeve, like, she's like the only one that hasn't really done anything bad except for just profiting off it and like lying to Homelander and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which, like, lying to Homelander is like it's the least worst thing that you could do.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, all she's done really is hide her relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I reckon she could defect to then team up with the boys, maybe.
Yeah, that would be a really interesting move. I don't know whether she would go as far as teaming up with the boys. I don't know. I don't know whether she'd do her own thing.
We saw at the end of episode 5, though, she is going to try and team up with the Deep and the Church of the Collective, maybe.
Oh,
to
yeah,
try
true.
and shut down Vought or Homelander, at least. But how much of a dick move was Homelander for outing Queen Maeve?
Oh, such a
on
dick
national
move.
television. Ugh.
Well, this is it. He's being even more sinister now in that kind of respect.
Yeah. And, like, again, homophobia in there, like, and the way he just deflected it, he does the same thing that every fucking, like media company does when it's just like, they pointed out the lack of diversity in the superheroes, because, so they found out that Vought chose which children got superpowers, and they chose to have a 75% white majority. So they chose not to give black people or Hispanic or Asian people superpowers.
Yeah.
They chose to have like white, typically blonde, blue eyes, like superheroes. I was like, oh yeah, Vought, even like when they were creating superheroes, were still racist then. Again, leading back into that Nazi propaganda type thing.
Yeah, I absolutely wonder why.
But then also, like, the way that he was like, they were like, oh, so tell us your thoughts on Vaught's lack of diversity when choosing who should have superpowers. And he was like, we've got a gay. I was like, and you're like, fuck me, like, you can't say this thing, like, you're just there. He's like, we got A-Train, so we got a black guy, and then we've got a lesbian. It's like, that's not the answer. Just saying that you're diverse in a slightly different way does not mean that you're not racist.
Yeah, literally.
It's like, yeah, we might be racist, but we're not homophobic.
But it's funny because even the representation of the sorry, my dogs are totally distracting me again. We'll be right back again. 1 sec. And of course they've just stopped as soon
It's
as
literally as soon as
oh no, I've spoken again and they've started again.
It's like as soon as you want to start talking, like you go to stop talking, they stop, and then you start talking, they go again.
That's it. I will go silent and then they'll stop, and as soon as I start talking again, they'll bark. Exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Anyway, let's just carry on. Okay.
Is that Whisper going at it?
That's all the dogs going at it.
All of them.
All 3 of them. All 3 of them going at the door.
Oh yeah, I can hear multiple now. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay, now they're stopped. Right. No, one more. Okay. Okay, no, the current. Right, okay, we're going to be right back. And at the end of season 5, we also... season 5?
Episode 5.
Episode 5. We also get a look at... is it Sean Ashmore's character?
Sean Austin. No, Sean...
Ashmore. Sean Ashmore.
Ashmore. Sean Austin is Samwise.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, of course. He's actually credited on IMDb as Man in Scrubs. So even though his casting was made pretty public, I think they're still trying to hide away a little bit of who he is. He is playing Lamplighter, which is the person who retires from the Seven, who Starlight replaces. Very, very interesting.
So we found out that we found this out in I think like episode 3 or something like that he murdered I can't remember the woman's name, the elderly woman who Butcher reports to.
Oh yeah. Oh, the one who's...
he murdered her grandchildren, I think.
Ah, okay.
And that's why he retired, but that obviously that would have been covered up by the press and stuff like that. But he seems to be doing Stormfront's like evil bidding, so it looks like he's either a patient in this clinic or
he's
like posing to or he's like posing to be a doctor or a therapist or like somebody who works there, because it seems like it's like a hospital for maybe superpowered people, because we saw in the trailer the same place, which we are going to see in episode 6. I think Frenchie and Kimiko is going to break into it, and that's where we're going to get the reveal of Lamplighter and stuff like that. Like the superpowered individuals being held in this place.
Hell yeah! I hope, I'm really excited.
So I think he's going to try and... I think Stormfront was getting him to kill a 17-year-old boy, I think it was, who might be in the clinic. That might be what Lamplighter's doing there.
Looking forward to it. Well, we don't have to wait much longer. It's only 8 episodes, so we've got 3 more episodes to go after what we've covered in here. I
feel like there's something else in episode 5 that I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember. The fake film that they're filming.
Oh, yeah, the Dawn of the Seven, which is
Dawn
very
of the
funny.
Seven.
It's like Dawn of Justice, but you know.
And like the logo was the same and everything, and then they even mentioned the Joss rewrite as well.
Yeah.
Which obviously on the nose to the Justice League and stuff like that.
Yeah,
very funny. The writing is awful. like Maeve outing herself in the film, like the writing was awful, and also the fact that they've scripted it now into the film that she comes out and stuff like that, and it was just awful. And they've replaced her actual real life girlfriend with a fictional superhero girlfriend. And then A-Train leaving the Seven, and they couldn't even get Homelander on set to shoot his scene with.
Yeah, and then they're also trying to change the fashion of her actual girlfriend.
Yeah,
to make
like
it more...
proper trying to micromanage it. Like they reference Ellen and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like the boys isn't
like,
afraid of like hitting on some serious topics.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like it's like pointing attention to things that do actually happen in the media and being like, this shit is fucked up. It's like you can't have 2 females in a relationship with each other and them both be feminine or both be masculine. Like they need to still depict a male and female role even within this lesbian relationship. And I was like, oof, that's a yikes right there.
Yeah, it's a yikes moments.
It's a yikes series.
Yeah, but it's a good series. It's a very good.
It's such a good series
with lots of yikes in between.
What do you think? Should we go into a couple predictions? What we think might happen in the next 3 episodes? Then
yeah, sure. Let's go.
You go first. Have you got anything?
We see Black Noir's face at the end of season 2. That sets up something for the next season. I don't know.
I've also heard people posing the theory as well that it might be maybe like Lenny under the mask, maybe.
Oh,
Like that would be a big change from the comic books as well. That's not what happens in the comic books, but that would be a really interesting change if they were to do that.
yeah.
Like, because they said he's dead, but maybe he's not dead.
That'd be a real interesting move. I also think maybe that we might see one of the boys bite the dust by the end of season 2.
Which one do you think it would be?
I think Frenchie.
I was thinking Frenchie.
Yeah, I think Frenchie would hit the dust.
Frenchie's going through a weird thing at the moment as well. Like, he is just not picking his timing and not being very understanding towards Kimiko.
Yeah, no. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Kimiko is going to end up losing. She's lost a brother. I think she's going to end up losing Frenchie.
Yeah. They'll probably come to some sort of resolve and then she'll lose him.
So, yeah, that's what I reckon is going to happen.
Or would Kimiko die to try and save him?
Ooh, maybe. Either or. What do you think's going to happen?
I'm excited for a big, brawl / breakout from this clinic facility. I think that's going to be pretty cool in episode 6 if that's what happens. That's what it looks like what might happen. Yeah, I think we are definitely going to at least get halfway to a big Black Noir reveal. Maybe they'll leave it on a cliffhanger at the end of the season. Stormfront is going to be outed to the press, I reckon.
Yeah.
Being Liberty. And something's definitely going to happen in terms of Vought having to answer for their Nazi history.
Yeah, definitely. I think that might come up.
I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen with the Church of the Collective. Obviously, this is their version of Scientology for superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how that's going to play out. Maybe they'll become the next big sort of villain figure after Vought.
Yeah, maybe. It's left it open, hasn't it? It's
they're
not explaining too much about them yet, which I think they're playing the cards close to the chest for a reason.
Yeah.
But we will only have to wait and see. 3 weeks left of The Boys, which is kind of sad because I was so excited for season 2. I kind of don't want it to be over with already. But this is only a second season of this show, and I think it's got the potential to go on for more and more. I think it already got green lighted for season 3 anyway. I think that happened before season 2 came out. So amazing.
I think it might have actually been 3 and 4.
Oh, really?
I feel like I've seen that headline, and I might be blowing out my arse, but I've got an image in my head of seeing that headline.
No, interesting.
But I could easily see 5 seasons of this. I don't know if it's got the legs to go more than 5 seasons. I don't know if it'll be too drawn out. I don't know if they'll just be pushing it a bit too far after that point.
Maybe it depends on where the art goes, though. To be fair,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're moving at a good pace at the moment, and nothing feels too drawn out, and the reveals get revealed in a good steady progression. I don't want them to be okay, we want to do 8 seasons plus of this, so let's draw out some of these storylines. Because it'll make, especially with only having 8 episodes a season, you still need to do enough in those 8 episodes to keep people coming back. You don't want filler episodes.
Yeah.
So I could easily see a nice tidy 5 seasons of this.
Yeah, for sure. Right, we'll wrap it up there for another week. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at GetRealPod. Let us know what you think of The Boys Season 2 so far. Let us know if you're watching this after the season's finished. Let me know your thoughts. Let us know what your predictions for Season 3 would be. We'll probably touch upon this a little bit more in an episode once we've... We'll probably talk about it once a week, to be fair, because we'll be getting ourselves up to date on The Boys, and we'll talk a little bit about the latest episodes, maybe. Or just
we could do a little spoiler session at the end of each episode, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we do the outro, just a quick what happened on this week of The Boys, because there's only 3 episodes left. Episode 6 comes out tomorrow for us.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll probably be... we'll record this on Thursdays, so we'll probably be able to talk about an episode each every Monday for now. So make sure you check us out on socials. Chris, how can people support Z Podcast?
The best way to support the podcast, share us with as many people as you can. Share us out on your Instagram story, on your Facebook, anything like that. The second best way, or also joint best way, is to leave a rate and review on the podcast. Podchaser is the best place to do that because that'll syndicate it to all of our other podcast hosts. But if you leave us 5 stars, leave us a review, follow us on Spotify, anything like that, subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll be catching up with the video versions on that soon. That is the best way. Honestly, just share us with one person. Just be like, oh, you listen to it. Especially with the boys, like everybody knows somebody else that's watching the boys. Like share our podcast with them. See if you agree with our conspiracy theories. Tweet at us or message us on Instagram if you've got a theory of what Black Noir's identity might be, but maybe don't post spoilers.
Yeah, if you read the comics, you're not allowed to tell us.
No, because I've been holding off saying it on the podcast because I don't even know if that's the direction they're going anymore, but that'll be a cool storyline when that comes to the fruition. But yeah, that is the best way to support us, so keep checking us out. I'm not sure entirely what we're going to be covering next week. There is definitely something coming out in the next week, but I can't remember what. Sam?
No idea.
You went far too silent. I thought the call had cut out.
No idea. We'll figure it out. I don't know what we're going to
figure
cover
it
next
out.
week.
Something
Something on Netflix? Something on Amazon
maybe
Prime?
Enola Holmes has come out. I'm thinking of Ending Things has come out. There's a couple more things coming out in the first. I know we've got another week before October. There must be something at the end of September. I'm sure there is.
Jack Whitehall Travels with My Father Season 2.
Season 4.
Season 4. Never mind. Maybe
that is a good series.
Maybe we do maybe we talk about Enola Holmes.
Maybe. Or we could do one of the other ideas that we had on the back burner. I just remembered we had some other ideas.
We need to do a Money Heist episode. That's what I say.
I need to watch 17 series of Money Heist in a week to cover a podcast.
Oh, it's very good though. It's very good.
We'll do a Modern Family episode because that's all I seem to be watching.
Modern Family episode. Anyway,
we'll do an anime episode.
Yes, Pokemon, and that's me done.
We'll watch all 6 seasons of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure in the next week, and you need to try and explain to me what the fuck's happening in that show.
Nope. Right, we'll see. Right, take care, stay safe, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Wash your damn hands. Bye.
Wear a mask. Don't be anti-COVID.
Wear a mask
don't be pro-COVID.
like Black Noir.
Don't be pro-COVID. Be like Black Noir, but less angry.
Only less potential being brought up by a racist company.
Oh dear. No one wants to be brought up by a racist company.
How many people were brought up by a racist company, do you reckon?
I mean...
Also, that's something else that happened. You were talking about Stormfront's like little activity feed on Instagram Live. She had loads of people from Argentina who went to Argentina after the Second World War. That's right, or the Nazis. So,
interesting.
That's a nice little stinger for anyone that stuck around to the end of the podcast. Bye.
This is a long post-amble.
Post-amble, not preamble.
See what I did.
Right, okay, I'm going to stop now.
Okay.
We good?
Yeah.
We good? Bye. See you next week.